World Cup, the old World Cup, the System 3, MPU and driver board. And this MPU was quite an adventure. I have, of course, changed out all the Scanby craptastic sockets, so that boils down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sockets. Yikes! All the headers on both the MPU and driver board. 5-volt cap, updated the reset section, modified it to be a System 4 MPU, and the modification of the clock section had already been performed. Driver board, replace the resistors in this section in the switch matrix with 0 ohm jumpers. That is correct. And let's see, that's it for this. Oh, all the headers all the way around. You can see that World Cup wasn't too flashy, I guess, with respect to attract mode. And the only solenoid on is the coin lockout solenoid. Now you put System 3 games into test a little differently, and it is mind-numbingly stupid, but you press this button and you'll see these 2 LEDs flash twice. That means we're in test and the CPU has passed at least some rudimentary testing. When I first got this board, when you did that, the 2 LEDs would lock on, and the problem was that there was a 5101 here, which I originally tried to use a super cap to back up the power far, but the 5101 was bad. Even though it would pass in my Neolock tester, it was in fact bad. So after I fiddled with that for a while, I just said, the heck with it, we're just going to put NVRAM in, and that is what I have done. So at this point, the CPU is ready to accept poke commands by manipulating these switches and some other crazy stuff that I'm not going to go into, but we can also then press the diagnostic button and begin the regular diagnostic procedure. So we have the score displays counting up, and we can see that it is driving the score displays correctly. And the next test is lamp test, and that is working correctly. And let's go to solenoid test. Wow, it goes a lot slower in these earlier version games. That's 6, 9, 10, which is the AC select relay on other game systems, and 12, which is also a different function on other game systems. The coin lockout will extinguish, and if I let this go around one more time, then it would come on and blink. These are the special solenoids, and that proves that the special solenoids can be driven from the MPU. Now I'm going to close the switches for the special solenoids one at a time. I'll show you this little jig that I built for that, and there are 6 of them. So this is the little tester doodad. It's multi-purpose. It closes switch solenoids on a driver board, and it closes the sound selects on a sound board. Kind of nice. So next test is switch test. And I have my Pinatech tester for that purpose. Let's go through column 1. You know, I just love these old plasma displays myself. And we're going to go through row 1, and we're going to find out what the last switch is on World Cup, since I don't have that on my cheat sheet. Switch 40 must be the last switch on World Cup. All right. Now we're into the audits and adjustments, and I'm going to let those run through. You can slow those down and change them by putting the auto manual switch in the off position. and you get back to regular game operation by cycling power. So we're back in operation. This MPU and board or driver board pair is good to go. Now the client did send another MPU along, and originally I thought I could salvage this one, but I don't think so any longer, since I'd have to remove all of the components from here on down. Now these two sockets would be removed anyway, but after I did all the work to abate the corrosion on this board, plus added a socket at this location, replaced all the ScanB sockets, again, this is a System 3 board, it's just not worth it. So at least we've got one board pair, and I'll be testing another driver board in just a moment. It's good to go. And here is the second Williams 3-7 driver board sent along with a World Cup MPU. And on this one, I did replace the jumpers again. There are 8 of them here. This had a failed 7408 at IC2, which was causing solenoid 5 to lock on. The coil, or the tip 102 and the pre-driver were bad. One of the rare times I've ever seen that. Had a couple other transistors that needed to get replaced. 1 and 2 here, and this one also, and I gotta mark that one with the rest of these with a gold stripe. Added blanking, of course replaced all the headers all the way around. And let me get my rest of my test rig connected to this thing. I really need to make a dedicated 3-7 test rig. But the only solenoid that's on right now is the coin lockout. So let's get into the obtuse testing mode for System 3. And we're cycling through the display test as we listen to the Rock of St. Louis KC95 and Def Leppard. So let's test the lamps. Working great. Def Leppard was big in St. Louis, and they have a handful of really good songs. This is Photograph. I love this one. Be interesting to see if YouTube identifies this in the background and lists it as a song played in this video, because it has done that before. I noticed the other day on one of my other videos, talked about songs in the video. I didn't even remember putting any of those in there, but they're on the background music. All right, here's the special solenoids driven from switch inputs, and that's working perfectly. So the last test is switch test, and again we should go up to switch 40. Def Leppard, what's that song? I can never remember the name of that song. Oh, Hysteria, great song. Okay, so that switch matrix is working also. I did socket the PIA at IC5 and added blanking, if I didn't mention that earlier. But this board is good to go now also. Thank you so much.